Hello, everyone. This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out at Night.
Mostly. Finally nailed the intro again, Will.
Yeah, we finally did. No mess-ups this time.
No bloopers.
No bloopers, no, me being the dum-dum and saying something wrong, which I usually do. But we keep it all in, okay? We keep it real.
We don't, there's no fraud.
Listen, we don't mess around with that stuff.
Yeah, there's no fakery. You get the real things with us.
And speaking of the real,
if you want to get more,
of the real, go to YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. I mean, wherever you listen to stuff, go and look us up. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Like, just, be like, hey, yeah. I know this stupid little podcast where two guys get drunk and watch dumb movies, and
they even take requests.
Review them, and they take requests, and you can wallow. You can watch them wallow in the misery that you've created.
Yeah,
which is exactly what happened tonight.
Yeah, we appreciate all of you, and yes, one of you lucky listeners. Again, you know who you are. We tonight watched the Loreley's Grasp. I kept saying the Loreley's Grasp because of the way it's spelled, but no, it's the Loreley's Grasp.
Yeah, Loreley's.
From 1973.
Oh boy.
This is I think we've decided. I mean, I'm assuming we've decided that this is going to be a rambler.
Yeah, listen, I'm not really in the mood to go shot for shot on this one because there's no point really. The plot is bare bones as fuck. There's nothing really it's like a creature feature, but there's nothing really here.
It's a rubber monster movie.
It's a rubber monster movie. And there's a hunter and he's trying to hunt them, and then there's some village people that want to not that kind of village people, but the other, some villagers that want to form a mob and kill the monster, which is hilarious and actually broke me, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I was also broken at one point. This movie managed to break both of us. Very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not very often that happens. And I think this is Spanish, I think. Spanish movie, but it was dubbed. And it's weird when the dubbing is the least of a movie's problems.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know if you want to blame the dubbing or what.
Sorry.
Some of the dialogue is just...
Well, the dialogue sucks, but I think that's the dubbing, to be honest. I think a lot of the dubbing, and they just didn't care. They just phoned it in half the time.
But it's just...
like normal movies do, usually. But,
it's dubbing. I mean, listen, that's what we came here for.
It's par for the course, but holy fucking shit, this movie is... it had some promise in the beginning, I'm not going to lie, and I was like, okay, maybe it's but then halfway point happens, and I'm just like, yeah, this movie fucking sucks.
Well, it's just a movie about a boarding school in this town that has this creature, this legend called the Loreley, and it's like a thing that it's a lizard monster.
Yeah, it's like a lizard that goes around and kills, and the myth is it's a woman that transforms into a monster at night and steals people's hearts.
It eats the heart.
It eats their hearts, and then
steals makes you think it's like
hoarding them.
No, I was thinking more it's a fucking a lizard monster that just walks around and makes men fall in love with her or something.
That would make more sense.
I mean, it kind of happens to one person.
But I mean, it's a siren, so that's the whole point. But what's weird, and I don't know if this is the dubbing or just the movie in general, but sirens, usually the myth goes, they sing or do something to lure a man. But this one just frolics.
Are you actually trying to apply logic to this movie?
Yes.
Please, no.
Dude.
No.
Because otherwise, what the fuck did I just watch?
No. You watched A Fever Dream.
So it even starts with like a woman, like we get like boobs in the first like 30 seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
And you just know what kind of movie you're watching at that point. The director was very horny.
How dare you? How dare you say that?
But so like she gets murdered, and then it kind of like kicks off this whole thing. So
yeah, they hire the boarding school, which by the way, I don't even know if it ever, like, the only thing that anybody does at this boarding school is they have pool parties and they sleep.
That's it. I mean, there's a professor, but she doesn't ever teach anything. No. She just awkwardly stands around and reads books in like random fields.
No, it's funny because like the professor looks like she's the exact same age as all the people in the boarding school. The only difference is there is
like an older woman, but I don't know what she's there for.
I don't know.
Like they never explain who she is.
She vanishes halfway through the movie.
Or what she does, and she just is gone.
Yeah, she just disappears halfway through the movie.
So it's a professor, but yeah, all they do literally is like they swim in bikinis and
sleep.
That's it. Like, and have like the hots for this hunter guy.
Yeah, because of that first death, they end up hiring this hunter there to hunt the thing, and all the townspeople are super spooked because they all believe in the Loreley. And
because they have this like conversation before they get the hunter, basically in a bar, which is hilarious because they even have I thought our hunter guy was the guy at the
old
bar.
Man.
So no,
he's actually the mayor,
the blind guy.
Oh, how dare you, Blinken.
So like I am not kidding, and I am not even fucking joking right now. If you have seen Robin Hood Men in Tights, this man in this 1975 movie looks exactly like Blinken from that movie. Like I'm not even kidding. Down to what he wears, his sunglasses, his hair, everything is Blinken.
Yep, and my favorite is this is when you're introduced to the
awkwardness.
A lot of the stuff in this movie, it just looks like a Bethesda.
Well,
this is. I mean, listen. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for the fucking video game references, but if you've ever played a Bethesda like game
like
or an
Skyrim,
RPG,
Fallout, any of those kind of games,
it's just like the way the NPCs act in those games.
I have a theory about this. I don't think the director like really queued people up. I think he basically told the actors, once you hear a specific like phrase, that's when you're supposed to jump in with your line. Like,
or once you hear the people stop talking, then you come in.
Well, because it's so awkward. Because two people, like for instance, in this scene where they're talking about the Loreley and like all this stuff, this is when the music guy, our Blinken, he's supposed to like chime in and say that like he believes in the story and everything, but like the mayor and this old professor are just talking, or old, sorry, we get a
young old man.
A young old man. So they're talking, and Blinken is literally just standing
in the background,
like literally right next to them, standing in the background, like just staring off into space.
Yes.
Like just like nothing, holding his violin all weird. And then, like, literally they get done with their conversation, and he immediately interjects.
He turns towards them and immediately interjects.
It's not like he, like, walks on the set or, like, walks onto the frame or anything like that. And then we also see... It shows the old professor explaining something, and a guy's behind him, like, holding a beer mug, and he's just waiting. You can tell he's not like acting, he's waiting.
Yeah, he's just waiting.
And then like he like the professor finally finishes, and then the guy is like, yeah, we should do that. Like
he like shakes.
He waits. Like he shakes the
you can tell the
beer mug, and there's nothing in there.
You can tell like none of the actors have any actual liquid in their beer mugs.
But it's weird because we get a lot of those scenes where people are just waiting around for their lines.
Yes.
And it looks so awkward, and like it plays out so like weirdly that it's like uncanny valley. Like I don't understand it. There's also a scene later on where they're like talking to the professor after like everything's gone on. just another example of this like weird like stuff they do. And like they're talking to the professor. So the professor's talking to like the mayor or something, and then like two girls come randomly out of the bushes for some reason. And they're like, well, the hunter, blah, blah, blah.
They're supposed to be at the pool party.
Yeah,
but they're just out. They come out of the bushes.
The hunter, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, the hunter shows up from behind a tree.
Like a comedy show, yeah.
And I'm like, is someone else going to fucking, like, jump out from the fucking, like a branch or something? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I wish someone jumped down from a branch during this scene.
Well, it just makes no sense. Like, I don't know. The whole movie is just awkward. Like every time the hunter sees the siren lady, like it's this awkward. Like they just stare at each other, and then she like frolics away.
Yeah, the first time she frolics away, and he doesn't chase her. He just kind of smiles. And the second time she frolics away, and he chases her to like a shack, and they end up making out, and he's in love with her.
Well, she's never kissed a man, never been kissed, even though later in the movie she's had many suitors.
She's a liar. I don't know.
I don't know what they were trying to go for, but like
I think it was more that
he falls madly in love with her, right?
Well, I think it's more that she says like, oh, like no one's done that in a very long time, because she's a fucking 1,000-year-old demon lady.
Well, they fall madly in love with each other. Like she's all about it, he's all about it, and they're like,
don't ask how.
Well, which is stupid. And I'm sorry, this is so rambly.
We told you. No, I said it'd be a rambler.
Which is stupid because like the whole time she's the fucking siren, and it's fucking obvious as fuck, and he still doesn't piece it together until like
there's a
the end
scene
of the movie.
where it's when he makes out with her, and they're like about to get it on, and she's wearing a necklace, and he takes it off, and she starts getting weird, and this guy who's like, well, you've seen him through the movie. He's like an assistant to her. He shows up and he says like, what the fuck does he say? Do you remember? It's like, don't detain her any longer. I shall attend.
Yeah.
And it's some fucking AI text-to-speech bullshit.
Which is weird because they didn't have that, obviously. But like, and it's so weird.
But he picks her up and starts carrying her to the water, right?
Well, no, even before this, though, he says that, like, you know, this thing has to be killed because it's killing all the, like, the boarding school, like, girls.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, who cares about them anyway? Like, all this, like, just vague bullshit about how she doesn't care about him. And it's blatantly obvious that she is the fucking siren.
Well, the water thing's even more because the whole thing is that the Loreley, it like lives in the water.
Yeah, and he knows that.
But so he sees her getting carried by this guy.
Yeah, and still
into the water.
And still literally does not piece it together that she's the fucking like siren.
There's also a thing in that scene where, you know, he's like carrying her away and he like asks the guy something and the guy's like, get the necklace. And he goes to grab it, and
you see it fucking nowhere.
You see the necklace sinking into the sand, disappearing, and yes, what the point of that necklace is?
Fuck all. That's what the point of the necklace is.
Yep.
Fuck all. So we'll get to the deaths in a minute. I want to go over my favorite scene.
Oh, please.
So there's enough deaths in the village that people are getting pissed off because the Loreley only usually killed at the boarding school, but now he's going into town because she killed the fucking music guy
she killed Blinken, and she killed the boatman.
Yeah, she killed the boatman and the blind man. And so they get all pissed off and they form a mob. And
Our fucking uncles.
I'm only bringing this up because it is hilarious, A, and B, it's like the necklace scene where it goes absolutely fucking nowhere.
This has no bearing on
anything. It has no bearing on the rest of the movie whatsoever. So they go to the mayor's, they form this mob, and I lost my shit. I really did. Because I don't know. Let me try and set this scene up for you.
So many uncles.
So they form this mob, and it's a bunch of guys, like middle-aged to late-aged guys, all carrying pitchforks and torches.
Various things. But it's like whatever they could grab.
I I cannot make this shit up. Literally all of them are either wearing a sweater,
a turtleneck.
So like a turtleneck sweater, a blazer, or a cardigan.
All of them.
Like all of them. And there's no young people. There's no like actual like hunters or anything. Like this entire village apparently loves knitted.
It's all these
knitted.
Yeah, it's all these uncles in their most cozy knitted outfits.
It is hilarious.
With whatever they could grab.
I don't know. I think it was just because the movie's so dumb. But like I could not hold it in. I fucking lost it.
Well, because they gather together with whatever they could grab. Like one of them literally just has a stick.
Well, this scene is so fucking stupid because they go to the mayor's house and they're like, "Well, we need to kill this thing," and the mayor's like, "Well, let's do
nighttime.
It's nighttime. Let's do it in the morning." And they're like, "Yeah,
Mayor, we're with you."
Even though. So what I don't fucking get is if everyone knows this fucking like monster is going around and they know the myth that she only comes out at night to kill people, why the fuck would they go in the morning? They have no idea who she is.
Don't ask questions though.
They have no fucking idea who the fuck this girl is, who this woman that's killing everyone is.
Do not ask questions. Stop asking questions.
So then they go in the morning and a bunch of them they're still in their blazers and fucking cardigans.
But now they have
sweaters,
dogs.
But now they're just walking their dogs in the park.
And that's it.
And this goes nowhere. This is the last scene we see of the villagers.
My favorite is there's a scene where near the very end where our hunter is going to the hideout of the Loreley.
Yeah, so he's figured out that she's in the like river.
It's like it's like a cave thing or
so
whatever.
He's gonna he takes the mayor and not the professor guy because we'll get to the deaths in a minute. So he goes to the mayor and like his assistant and like is gonna scuba dive down to see if he can find her lair.
So we get right before the scene started, Will's like, "Oh, how are they gonna do this?" And we see like some kind of extremely out of focus shots of someone scuba diving.
There's a reason they're out of focus.
It's extremely out of focus. You cannot see shit.
I want to preface this before you continue.
Yes.
He dives in shirtless and like with just a Speedo.
Just a Speedo, that's it.
That is literally all he's wearing. Is like flippers and a Speedo.
Yep.
So I'll set that up. You go ahead.
And he's just go through it. We just see tons of out of focus shots of some scuba diver where you just see like little glimpses like his hand or his head, and then finally at the very end you get a very unfocused shot of the full scuba diver in full fucking scuba gear.
Like he has like a wetsuit.
Everything.
It's like a different tank.
Everything.
It's like fucking the flippers, everything.
And then the next shot is just our dude getting out of the water completely naked.
Now I do love every time it's out of focus too, because they show like side shots and like you see this little snorkel coming up, right? He did not dive in with a fucking snorkel.
Well, do not.
He dived in with like one of those like old school glass face masks, and I love it because every time they show him, it's a different mask. Because they try so desperately to show you he's diving, but show you that it's like to hide the fact that it's clearly not him.
But it's just hilarious because they end the fucking thing on a shot of some dude in full scuba gear, and then it hard cuts to our dude getting out of the water.
You literally fell to the ground laughing.
Yeah, because it's fucking comical. It's like the movie's making fun of me. It's like the movie thinks I'm fucking stupid. Like you're just watching this and boom, full scuba diver, full gear, everything, and then next shot is just hard.
My question is, why didn't they have him just dive into the fucking river full scuba gear? It would have made so much more sense.
I truly have no fucking idea why they didn't do that.
Like it would have, the continuity would have been there.
Oh, we'll get to continuity. Don't worry about it.
It would have been fine.
We'll get there.
Why was that so hard though?
Dude, I don't know. They literally filmed some fucking actual... It's like they filmed a professional scuba diver. They got some shots of him, like a minute worth.
Well, what I don't get
and then they just fucking did this to us.
So then he gets out and he's in the lair. And, like, he goes and there's, like, these three, like I guess, like, her mistresses or something.
Do not ask what the fuck they are, Will. It's three women in like Amazon outfits with spray tan,
like scantily clad like outfits. They're in like they're in like bathing suits that like barely cover anything.
Yeah.
And then
I got very confused too because one of them looks almost fucking identical to the goddamn professor at the school, and I was like,
probably because it is. I don't know. Like
if it might have been. My brain.
It might have been her.
She looked almost identical, and I was about to lose my mind.
Well, I thought like it because I thought the same thing. I thought like, oh, is she evil too?
Is it the same person? What the fuck's happening?
What are they doing?
But it goes nowhere.
I think it's just like the movie fucked up and was just like, oops, we used the same actress for both roles. Because,
so we had a limited number of attractive blonde women on set. We had to reuse some of them.
Well, because clearly they didn't give a shit. Because he goes into this giant lair with just a bunch of like fucking bullshit strung around all over the place. It's like this cathedral, and it's like all these fucking like weapons and
skeletons and
all
shit
all over the fucking place. And then she's in this like weird throne, like not in the middle of the room. It's like to the side
with her assistant ready with the whip.
The guy with the whip, and she says that like.
They'll be together forever.
God, I fucking hate this scene because she like lifts up this fucking diamond, this fucking trinket.
And starts hypnotizing him.
And it's like this big fake plastic like crystal on a keychain. On a keychain and starts hypnotizing him with it.
That we'll be together forever.
I do like that it is literally a keychain. Like they don't even care at this point.
They don't give a shit, yeah.
They didn't even care because it's on like a little tiny chain, and she just starts dangling it in front of him, and then they start like shining a flashlight in your eye, and then he like gets hypnotized, and they tie him up, and then, God, okay, before this is kind of the end of the movie. No, it's not the end of the movie. We can finish the layer part, and then we'll get to the deaths. So they tie him up, and the fucking women, the fucking mistresses.
One of them decides to rebel.
She's like, she's gonna let him out.
I want him for myself.
Well, no, this is her plan. I don't fucking get it.
You did. I'm sorry, I didn't know something in this movie confused you.
No, she lets him out because she wants to piss off the main, like
the Loreley,
the Loreley for fucking whatever reason. Then the other two get pissed off at her, and they all start catfighting.
We have like a fucking 2-minute long catfight.
It's so stupid, like just fucking nothing, and like it like keeps showing him like escaping, and then it goes back to the catfight, and you clearly know the focus was on the catfight because they show like
no fucking shit.
And he like gets out. And then he runs away and
swims back.
And they're still catfighting, by the way.
He swims back.
He gets out of the water and he
gets a fucking bomb.
He's like, here, just real quick. I love how there's no build up to this like bomb because they didn't even mention it any time. They didn't like say what the plan was. They like no one said they were going to bomb the river. No one said they were even going to scuba dive. There was no build up to the scene whatsoever.
To be fair, it's entirely fair that they said something, but we were both at that point so brain fried that it just didn't matter.
So he takes this fucking timer and throws it in the fucking lake, and it doesn't explode. Like, it's the most anticlimactic scene ever.
But he timed it perfectly because you'll find out later.
Well, yeah, because it explodes later, but like he throws it in the fucking
and then
lake,
it just cuts,
and it just like sinks to the bottom of an aquarium.
No, it's a fucking miniature bomb that they threw into an aquarium. And you know what's funny? Here's what's funny. I got a funny theory for you. Earlier, well, see, you might not have noticed it, but your brain did. But earlier, there's a scene in the professor's lab. The young old man.
Yes.
In the back of his lab, he has a fish tank.
I bet you that was it.
And it's green. It's like the water's green and murky, okay? It's got grass on the bottom. Tell me, Will, when you see the bomb falling down the river in the water, is it not green and murky with grass on the bottom?
It is.
Listen, I think it's the same fucking fish tank.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him because, like I said, they just...
Can we just mention my one of the few moments of joy I got in the movie? Is a scene where it's after he gets to the boarding school.
Okay.
And he does, I swear to God, this movie is like, it literally feels like a fucking video game, because all that he does at the boarding school is every night he just stands around in the same spot in their like front
That's why
yard.
we don't need to fucking explain the plot, because it's literally, once he gets there, he like walks onto the spotlight, looks up at their windows, they do something in their window.
That only happens once, though.
Well, no, it happens.
But he stands in the spotlight multiple times.
Well, no, it happens twice, because remember the first time it's all weird because they fucking like ogle him.
So the first time, because the first time is
because the second time the woman gets freaked out.
It's just the one woman. Yeah,
I mean, she just gets freaked out and closes the curtain, but
who he ends up also falling in love with, whatever. But it's he's out there with his like gun and whatever, and you see four windows, and they all light up, and a figure of a woman is silhouetted against each one of them. And then they open their windows, and each woman like oogles him and does like a suggestive thing. And then he like smiles and laughs. And then we get to see every woman lay in bed, turn off light. Lay in bed, turn off light.
This is the kind of movie we're dealing with.
Thought, like, are we going to get a movie about some fucking horn dog who just runs a fucking train through the whole boarding school?
That would have been better, to be honest.
I'll be honest, that would have been a million times better.
I would have liked to, because, if you like James Bond films,
I was literally thinking of the fucking part in Honor Majesty's Secret Service
where he runs
just
a train,
choo-choo trains them all.
Like the ski lodge.
Yeah, I literally thought of that, but no, we don't get any. That never goes anywhere.
Immensely better than what we saw,
but nothing of that happens.
Let's go over the design of the monster before we get into the deaths. It is fucking atrocious.
It's like a lizard monster with these like, it's like mouth is just always open.
Well, the eyes look like they used way too much fucking glue on it. Like they're always open, right? So you can clearly tell it's a mask.
No shit.
But
and the fact that the mouth never moves.
But the mouth never moves. Yeah, exactly.
And it's always like wide open.
But like they like have these eyes that are like protruding out of its like out of its skull, basically.
It almost looks like a chameleon.
But like every time they show a close up, it's like this weird, like all this like hardened shit all over it. It looks fucking. I don't even know why they decided to do a close up of the eye, because there's a transformation scene where they show like her eye transforming into like the lizard's eye.
Yes.
And like it looks so bad.
Don't.
Well, and like most of the time what they do, because I guess there was something wrong with the outfit. That's our theory. Because it's covered in a cloak.
Yeah, the lizard monster during every attack scene wears a cloak.
Yeah, and all you really see is the rubber gloves
and the face
with the claws and the face, kind of. But that's how it attacks. It just tackles people and rips out their heart.
Yeah.
You never see it eating because the mask doesn't move.
Wow.
I know. So yeah, there's multiple deaths. The deaths are pretty much exactly the same.
The only thing is that they do get progressively more violent, and then they just stop.
Well,
I guess
they reach like a climax where it's like at the most is basically you see the monster ripping out their heart.
Yeah.
So you see it tearing the flesh and like reaching into their chest cavity and like pulling out a fake heart.
Yeah, and you see like the chest cavity bones and everything, but that's like that's the last like death scene from this thing. And,
basically just tackles people, rips their shirt open, rips their chest open, and then eats their heart.
Yeah, first two deaths are women, and then the next two are men.
But it always rips their shirt open.
Well, it has to get the heart.
I know, but
Come on, man. Come on. I did notice some funny editing, though. In the second death of the woman, you see it ripping her shirt open, or her like night dress open, and it exposes her breast, and so it can like rip the heart out, whatever. But when they find the dead body,
it's covered up.
The night dress is perfectly, immaculately covering her chest.
I guess I could appreciate that, but like, I mean, every other death is like horny as fuck because it's like opening their shirt and like exposing them.
Continuity.
I know.
Please.
There's no continuity in this fucking film at all.
My favorite bit though is almost every time there's a death. So I don't get why they do this, because it's like what happens is there's a scene of nighttime, okay?
Yeah.
And then it cuts and we get like a generic establishing shot of the city in daytime.
Yeah, I didn't understand this at all.
Every time. Night, establishing shot of city in the daytime. It's clear day. And then it cuts back to night, and then we get a death.
One of them is like literally before like one of them dies, it shows like a boat crossing the river. And then literally the next scene is the person dying. And I'm just like, what did the fucking boat have to do with anything in that?
There's no point. But every time they do it where it shows you a random, like, either like the boat or there's like a panning shot of like the riverfront.
No, there's literally no point to any. I don't fucking understand why they did like.
There's 0 point.
It makes no sense. But like the deaths are fucking stupid. The stupidest one though is what we have to go. I mean, we have to talk about the stupidest fucking death scene in the entire fucking movie.
The young old man?
Yes.
So, earlier in the movie, our hunter, he talks to our young old man who is he's like a mad scientist. I mean, he's literally got like the crazy hair and everything. But it's a young dude in gray hair makeup. Whoop-de-doo. And my favorite bit, though, we both almost lost our fucking mind, is they show like a shot of a chameleon, like a fucking toy chameleon.
I love how, like, okay, so I want to set this up too. The professor's lab is like surrounded with like live animals.
Yeah.
There's like a sheep, there's like guinea pigs, there's like one that has like a salamander in it.
There's rats, there's bird.
Rats, they're like all live, right?
They're all alive, yeah.
They're all alive and they're all in their cages.
Yep.
I just want to set that up before Alex continues.
But we get the shot of a toy chameleon that they just kind of like lightly wiggle.
Well, someone off screen,
he's like talking.
Someone off screen pushes it down so it like looks up.
And he's like describing like the lizard and the reptile, blah blah blah. He basically explains to the hunter what the Loreley is.
Yeah.
But then like we get another shot when he starts talking about chameleons, and it's from the side now, and it's the same thing. Someone's just like kind of shoving it a little.
Well, it's like clearly, very fucking clearly, not how a chameleon moves at all.
It's a fucking toy.
They're just pushing on the ass of the toy to make it like look up.
Like they couldn't. Oh my god, why?
It's so stupid, but because they have every other fucking live animal in existence in that fucking lab, but they couldn't fucking get a chameleon.
We have a toy, but the other and then the other thing is the professor. He has a severed human hand.
Oh, this hand looks so fucking fake.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it looks so real, and yeah, it looks very real.
Yeah, no, it looks. Yeah, sorry, my bad. It looks very real. It looks so real.
He takes it out of my other bit of nonsense is, it's in a jar that's on its side.
It's open, like it's not in like fluid or anything. It's just on its side. You know why? Because the actor needed to reach in and grab it.
But you could reach in and grab it from the top.
Doesn't matter. It's easier. It's easier from the side.
I don't know about that, honestly, because you have to like bend your hand. Like, what the fuck? But it's on its side, and he takes it out and he injects it with the Loreley fluid, I guess.
I love this scene too because he literally like, I'm not kidding.
Yes,
he literally.
This is before our guy meets the Loreley.
Yeah. So he literally shows how the transformation happens because he has this weird contraption that simulates moonlight. I can't make this up. So he has this like crank machine that fucking simulates moonlight, and he shines it on the fucking hand, and the hand transforms. Now I want to reiterate this. This scientist
happen, yes.
literally showed factual evidence that Moonlight transforms this monster because he had like fucking Loreley liquid or some
nonsense,
bullshit.
Yeah.
But like the hunter literally like is like, oh, like wow, like that's great and everything. Like let's go hunt the Loreley. You know, is all about it. He knows that Moonlight fucking transforms this thing. I want to just fucking keep that nugget. Keep that nugget for just a minute because we're gonna explain the fucking scientist death and explain why it's so fucking stupid.
Well, because our guy doesn't believe that it's like a thing until almost the very end of the movie, even though...
And he doesn't know the fucking woman is the fucking Laura. He's the dumbest fucking person in the entire movie.
Oh, don't forget, our guy also tells him about a special radioactive butter knife.
Yes, it's a fucking special knife, so he stabs the hand with it, and it de-transforms the hand.
Yes, and then there's... I guess let's just talk about the death, because after our dude's makeout session and everything, the Loreley and her assistant show up in the young old man's
How did
study.
They know he was...
Maybe there was a line of dialogue that mentioned it, but we were too busy cackling to hear it. I don't know. But either way, she shows up, and immediately the dude knows. And basically they do the thing of like, are you trying to kill me?
No, not me.
No. I wanna make you whole. And he's like,
I don't know anything about that. He's like trying to reach behind him to like grab the butter knife.
And then she tells the assistant to whip him, and he starts whipping our dude. And he's like,
and the dude's like desperately trying to grab this dagger that's like literally right.
Stop.
What's funny is like he literally had
it's like right behind him.
He had like a grip on it and didn't grab it for some reason.
Bro,
and it's right behind him.
I've never seen someone struggle so hard doing such a basic task as this man struggles grabbing this fucking knife. He knew where
it was the whole time.
Yes.
And he like was backing up into it and then literally couldn't grab it while she was just talking to him.
And then the guy's whipping him and he's just like, no. And then she starts burning his paperwork.
Don't do that. Don't destroy that.
Don't burn it. No. And then there's a fucking vat of acid on the table and he falls down and just grabs it.
I don't know what he was reaching for.
Spills it on himself.
He fucking just ends himself. He just pours a bunch of acid on himself and dies. But the main reason I bring up that the fucking scientist showed the hunter that there's this transformation at Moonlight, right?
Yes.
Because the mayor and him stop by the scientist's lab. He's dead. And they look through his notes and they're like, oh, looks like the... Can't believe this.
It's the same shit we already heard.
This because he already told him this. He's like, looks like the Loreley transforms by moonlight. It's like, what? You already did that!
We fucking know.
He proved it! He fucking proved it! You fucking asshole! Like... You're such a dumb piece of shit.
I can't fucking believe this.
I fucking hate this movie.
I wanted to fucking kill myself.
He's such a dumb piece of shit. And that's our hero.
That's our
the guy that can't piece together that this siren that doesn't give a shit about the women that she's killing and like is acting all weird when he takes off a necklace and is carried into a fucking river by a weird random muscular dude is not a fucking siren, and then can't understand that like Moonlight transforms it when he literally saw it with his own fucking eyes. And then has to read a note about it saying the exact same goddamn thing. And is all shocked by it. This guy's fucking stupid.
I can't fucking believe this.
Dude.
Oh, God.
This movie broke me.
Bro, and then after all this, I guess let's just get back to the fucking ending, because...
Okay, we're almost there.
They we see the fucking bomb fall in the fish tank, and
it finally blows up.
It blows up later, though, because...
Well, like... I guess he timed it for like fucking like hours later.
Because first we see like the professor woman.
Yeah.
And she's like looking around the courtyard or whatever, and then she gets ambushed, and then he like the hunter like jumps out and stabs the thing with the butter knife, and then we see the explosion. So, and it's like, by the way, like, mind you, he literally threw that bomb, it just chucked it in the lake, in the river,
and he threw it like a day ago, like
in like a random spot. But somehow it's perfectly positioned in this cavern to blow it up, and it blows up, and our fucking Amazons.
I also love it because it makes this tiny little explosion,
but it blows up. But the whole like ceiling shatters and everything, and the assistant and the women die.
Yeah, and then so they get toppled by a bunch of debris, even though there's not that much. And then
he like the Loreley is like dying. When he like, transforms back into the woman,
and she's like, we loved each other and all
hold
this. Hold
me.
This
is it's better if you hold me. And then she dies, and he kisses her, and she transforms into a skeleton because she's like fucking an eternity old.
But she's not quite finished yet because he looks over and she's on. It's a negative imprint of the film.
Yeah,
and.
I'll be waiting for you.
She's on a horse, and she's like, I'll be waiting for you in Valhalla.
There's multiple references to Valhalla in this.
Yeah, which I don't understand really, but like... it's
fine.
I mean, I guess, but...
But then, yeah, she rides away on her horse in film negative, and then that's the movie.
Yeah, and she's just, I'll be waiting for you in Valhalla. And she, like, rides off into the sunset on an ugly-ass negative imprint, and fucking the fucking credits roll.
That's the movie.
That's the movie.
Is there anything we missed?
Probably, but, like, I don't really care at this point.
Because the only other thing is that our dude is also, like, kind of in love with the professor, which was, I mean... You can see it coming from a mile away because she's like
is telegraphed. I mean,
well, because he gets there and she's like all stuffy, and like, yeah, no man here. And then of course, she's not stuffy. She wants to get stuffed.
Yep, they kiss and everything.
But
no sex scene, surprisingly, in this entire movie. But
shocking.
I was legitimately shocked.
No, here's the saddest thing about this movie. Well,
what's that?
There's a scene, because, I mean, we didn't mention it because it goes nowhere, but there's a scene where there's, one of the women is taking a bath.
And, oh, yeah, okay.
And she hears a noise. She hears a noise. She's like, who is it? And it's another boarding school student.
Yes.
And she's like, I can't sleep. And then she's like, oh, well, come with me. And she goes back in her bathtub. And then the other one starts undressing. She's like massaging her, and they're like frolicking. And then the fucking professor walks in, and you're just like, are they really gonna do this?
I legitimately thought
and we
it
both
was gonna be like a three-way battle.
We both thought that our dude would have had a big enough boner to have a fucking three-way scene.
He wasn't dedicated enough to do that, but
instead, he did. One of them hides in the corner, and then the other one is just like, make sure everything's safe. And then she leaves. And then they get attacked by the Loreley, but they're both safe because our hunter saves them.
they get. What's weird also is like there's this weird scene where the Loreley almost attacks like the professor, and then he like just comes and like just doesn't do anything. He just steps into frame, and the Loreley runs away.
Yeah, it's gone.
For no fucking reason.
0.
Bye. Like, just fucking gone.
You can't handle 2 people, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know if we're missing stuff. I hope whoever suggested this is satisfied with this review, because, wow.
I am...
Listen, not the worst movie I've ever seen, but...
Not even close.
Damn, like, that was some shit.
That was some fuckery.
That was some shit. Like, I don't even know. Like, I mean, even in the original language, it probably wouldn't have been good.
No, because you'd still have to deal with the shenanigans.
Well, because I mean, it's awkward. It's awkwardly filmed. Like everything on screen is just pure cringe. Like,
well, it's just funny because like the movie's like it's not like bad looking, but there's a lot of like color and stuff. But
well,
it's just
and it's restored. I mean, it's on. We watched it. I don't know if you guys know, but Shout Factory is a big distributor of like just like odd movies and like just random stuff. They have like a bunch of for all you Sentai nerds I am. They have all the Super Sentai on. Well, most of the Super Sentai that they've released on there. So that's why I love it. Like they just do like these really like obscure restorations and releases. So I love them for that. It's on there. So if you have like the Prime channel or if you have their Shout Factory TV, you might be able to find it on their website as well. If you wanted to watch this, I don't know why.
If you're that curious,
I don't know why you would, but that's where we watched it. Where was I going with that?
Well, I was just saying that like the movie looks fine and it's very colorful.
So that's what I was saying. Like it is restored by Shout Factory,
but there is an air of amateur hour kind of just floating.
Well,
all of it.
The actors just like aren't very well directed, and they like just don't do a great job. Because like I get what they were going for, but every actor just makes every scene like so awkward and so.
You said that a lot of this movie is literally just people standing around, and I mean honestly, yeah,
it is. It's literally just people standing around waiting for their line,
waiting for something to happen.
Yeah,
like most of this movie is just people standing around.
So if you like that, go watch the Loreley's Grasp.
I mean,
God, Shitty to Pretty. Okay, let's go. It's not a 1.
No.
Because I was highly entertained for the wrong reasons.
But during some of it.
I was highly entertained during some of it.
Other parts of it, I felt like blowing my brains out.
So I think, I think a good 3. That's what I'm gonna give it.
Yeah.
I think a good 3. Like it's not really. It's not good by any stretch of the imagination, but there are scenes where you can make fun of it enough to make it enjoyable.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3. There's amusing stuff, and like I said, it's not a horrible looking movie, but there's just so much amateur hour shit, and at some point, like the nonsense on the screen just kind of starts to. It's like a fungus.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking fungal rot taking over your brain. Like, I can watch stupidity for so long, but eventually it just takes over your brain. Like, my brain matter just couldn't handle. And at the point that you get to the fucking Amazon woman having a cat fight and the fucking continuity error with the scuba diver and the fucking bomb fake out, it's just...
Yeah, I mean...
It's too much.
It's a lot to take in. It really is. But
it's too much stupidity. Also the fact that, like, all the deaths after the first, like, 50 minutes of the movie just kind of peter away. Like, it just
I know. They don't really continue. Either that or they're exactly the same as
it just turns into our dude falling in love with and kind of investigating the thing, and it's just like
I also want to mention there's zero chemistry between him and any of the women he falls in love with.
How dare you? The Loreley
zero chemistry.
Well, the Loreley had so many facial expressions.
So many. She didn't look bored and deadpan the entire time.
So many ones of facial expressions.
She didn't look like a plank of wood the entire movie. You're right. You're right.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, that's the Loreley's Grasp. I hope you're happy, whoever suggested this, because yeah, I hope you had to watch it too, to be honest.
Well, clearly, I mean, I can't imagine anybody recommending something to us that they haven't themselves.
But I wonder if people recommend where they like watch like 5 minutes of the movie and are like, yeah, this is some shit, and then turn it off, and then they're like, but Alex and Will review the whole movie.
Fair.
So I want to see what happens in the movie.
That's fair. Listen, there's a movie. We will one day down the line, we will get to it. There's a film, and I told you about it, and I know you watched some of it. There's a film called Kill Switch.
Oh, God.
That this is long before we had the podcast.
Oh, yeah. We've been talking about this movie forever.
I somehow started watching this movie, and I remember that there is a fight scene during that movie at like the 20-some minute mark. And it is so horribly done that it's like, it's hilarious to watch, but it's so bad that I shut the movie off after that point. and I explained this to Will, and he was like, but you were laughing and it was funny. And I'm like, yeah, but trust me, you have to see it. And then he found the movie, I think on YouTube, and you watched it and you turned it off at the exact...
I did. I couldn't do it. I understood.
You turned it off at the exact same fucking time. And then I remember looking up on IMDb the user reviews for that movie, and one person just gave... It was like one of the top reviews. It was like 1 out of 10 stars. And the person was like, this is one of the biggest piles of crap I've ever seen. It's so bad, I turned it off at 20 minutes and 17 seconds. That's how bad it was.
We haven't made it
And
past
I remember
that.
I looked at the fucking movie, and that timestamp is almost fucking identical.
See, that's why our podcast is perfect for that kind of stuff, because if you...
We have to watch it.
Because we have to watch it. You don't have to. If you make a suggestion that you've watched like 10 minutes of a movie and want to know what the fuck it's all about, but don't want to waste your time, your precious time watching it, you can suggest it to us.
So here's the funny thing is, when we first started, do you remember this? When we first started the podcast, we did say that, we said to ourselves that we have full right to turn off a movie if it's too bad.
Yes.
We've never done it.
No.
But I still remember, though, that I think it was our second movie, either our second or third movie ever that we watched. And I remember, like, 30 minutes in, I looked at you and I was like, why are we not turning this off? I literally was like, why are we still doing this? And you're like, no, dude, we have to. This isn't even as bad as it can get. And you know what? Yeah, you were right.
Yeah, it was. We didn't turn off Savage Water. We didn't turn off Lucifer Complex.
Or Black Devil Doll from Hell.
Black Devil Doll from Hell. Or Curse of the Headless Horseman. There's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse up there. and we didn't turn it off, okay? We didn't turn it off.
The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Holy shit. Oh god, the fact that we sat through Chris the Hills Horseman in our early fucking day.
Well, I think the brain rot is so real now that we just roll with it.
No, it's like that fucking thing in Plane, Trains, and Automobiles, and he's like, I can take anything. That's literally how I feel now. Like, they'll be like, how could you stand it?
How could
I'll
you
say,
do it?
because I've watched Savage Water. I can take anything.
I've seen Lucifer Complex. I've seen Black Devil Doll from Hell.
I watched a Rick James doll fuck a woman with a bacon tongue. I can take anything. That's literally how I feel. Like, this movie's nothing.
Yeah, this movie. Fucking... Yeah, this was. I think that's why we laugh at those stupid ass scenes.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. It's easy.
85 minutes of bullshit. Whatever.
Was it fucking stupid as hell and fucking dumb, and I'll never watch it ever again or even think about it after this review? No. But.
Oh god. I think we're done.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm done.
All right, that was Loreley's Grasp.
Thank you.
Catch us for another episode next week and another recommendation in about 5 episodes.
Yes,
so
whoever the next lucky
person
is.
We're doing one every 5 episodes. We got tons of requests, so we're gonna keep on rolling with that.
We're getting through
them. Thanks as always for listening. As always, for They Must Have Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex.
And we will talk to you later.
Bye.
I'll see you in Valhalla.
No.
I'll see you in Valhalla.
No, not my lab.
Valhalla.
No, my acid.